You've done it. Your theory works. You can read everything.
There's still so much I don't understand. These tombs. Death was so important to them. Why?
Well, why create something as fantastical as this and then bury it out of sight? You all right? Yeah, have some water.
Thank you.
It's so hot in here.
I'm better now.
Champollion was on the verge of the most startling discovery.
This is the family tomb of a man called Menofle.
I think he could have been a priest. There are priestly duties described here.
Oh my God.
What is it? What have you found?
Oh, nothing. Perhaps we have done enough for today. Why don't you go and join the others? I'll be with you in a moment.
Of course.
Oh my God.
I am startled by what I am reading fluently, rather than by what my imagination has been able to come up with. I have results which are extremely embarrassing for a regiment of theories.
Champollion had found the tomb of a man called Menofre. He was a royal priest of the 5th dynasty, a dynasty that Champollion calculated predated Noah's flood. This suggested that Egyptian civilization had begun long before the flood and continued completely unaffected by the deluge, a conclusion that directly challenged the biblical story. Here was evidence that the Bible, the Word of God, was not historically accurate, as most Christians then believed. In 1828, this was a potentially explosive discovery, but Champollion kept the information to himself in a secret diary. No one would know as long as he lived. Champollion understood the power of the hieroglyphs, but his real work was only just beginning. He wanted to discover the driving force that lay behind the civilization that built the pyramids. How was an ancient people living thousands of years ago able to construct buildings taller and more extensive than anything in Europe? Buildings engineered to perfection and of unsurpassed elegance, whose precise purpose was lost to time. Champollion continued in search of clues hidden in the hieroglyphs. More than anywhere else, he expected to find the information he needed at Thebes, Egypt's ancient capital, now known as Luxor. At Thebes, he was confronted with the sprawling remains of the Temple of Karnak, the largest temple complex on Earth.
I went to the palace, or rather the city of monuments of Karnak. There the full pharaonic splendor put itself on display for me. All that a man could think of executed on the grandest scale. It is enough to conclude that we in Europe are no more than Lilliputians, and that no other ancient or modern people has achieved a level of architecture that is so sublime, so large, so grandiose as the ancient Egyptians did.
The hieroglyphs on its walls told Champollion that this was a temple dedicated to the greatest gods of Thebes. Its crowning glory was a spectacular pillared hall built in honor of Amun, king of the gods, but named Effective is Ramesses after its builder Ramesses the Great. For more than 1,000 years, Ramesses' story had stared down from the temple walls at Thebes, unreadable and unknowable. Now Champollion could begin to bring Ramesses' world back to life. On the walls of each of his temples was the same story, his most famous battle at Kadesh against Egypt's old enemy, the Hittites, and in all its gory detail. For the first time in centuries, Champollion was able to read a description of how Hittite spies were tortured, of the time the gods saved Ramesses from death at the height of the battle, and the story of his pet lion savaging the soldiers of his defeated enemy. Ramesses made sure that his own heroic part in the acclaimed victory was faithfully recorded by his scribes. This is what he said. I was like fire. I was like a falcon pouncing. I was like a lion with its prey. I alone, against millions of foreign enemies, was triumphant. I killed and killed until they lay thrown together in their own blood. For the first time, Ramesses spoke to the modern world.